and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Made with bits of real panther, so you know it's good. It's quite pungent. Stings the nostrils.
Alright, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliott, and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. Today, we're talking about the long-awaited Blizzard Rustler 10. And yes, I know people call it Blizzard, but originally it was Blizzard. They changed the name when they went from Europe over to the Western United States. So, for me, I'm gonna go with the traditional naming, not the marketing naming, Blizzard. I skied this in a 180. This ski is 102 width underfoot and has a 17.5 meter turning radius.
Yeah. Brian, I'm gonna be honest with you, that smells like pure gasoline.
60% of the time, it works every time.
There they go with speed.
That doesn't make sense.
First impressions of the ski were very strong. I can see why so many of you guys recommended. Now, starting out, this ski was not provided to me by Blizzard, Technica, Nordica, whoever. This ski was demoed by my local shop. So I'm giving you my completely unbiased opinion. I paid for the demo myself, so I'm gonna give it to you straight what I thought of the Blizzard Rustler 10. Now, first impressions. This ski absolutely charges. It loads up beautifully. It gives you all the energy back out of your turn. This is a really beautiful ski. I don't tend to really love the 100 millimeter width underfoot. I just find that it tends to be a little wide and sometimes stretched out, or it's like a different version of another ski, or it can be unresponsive or doesn't turn that well. That was not the case for the Rustler 10. This ski did not feel it. This felt more like a 95 underfoot or a 90 underfoot. This ski was very responsive and honestly, a ton of fun to ski on. It gave me all my energy out. You could really fire yourself out of a turn. It skied well on the trail and off the trail. It was very diverse in the terrain you could take it on. It handled most snow conditions like a champ. This ski was tremendously fun, and I can see why it's so popular. Now first, we'll talk about the good and then we'll talk about the bad. So this ski felt a lot like a lighter version of the Volcal M6 Mantra. It really kind of has clean turns when it goes off trail. It kind of gets through everything. It can handle all conditions. It feels light, quick turns edge to edge. It's not kind of that bold. It feels like a lighter version of the M6 Mantra. It feels like a light version of a crud cutter. It's just very diverse without sacrificing a lot of turn shape in and out of the turns. This ski is pretty amazing. It carves really well. As far as carving goes, you can load it up. It'll get right into the turn. It gives you all of your energy back out of the turn. I never felt like I was maxing it out. It feels like a really strong ski that can take all of the pressure when you load up your boots without feeling heavy and bulk. Sometimes I look at a ski like the K2 Mindbender where it can do all of that, but it has to be really heavy and beefy in order to do that. This ski doesn't feel beefy and still provides you a lot of width and a lot of variety in terrain that you can take on with this ski. So I feel like as far as how wide it is underfoot and how burdensome it doesn't feel, how quick and nimble it feels for this width is pretty amazing. The other thing I really liked about it, when I was carving, it gave me a really strong platform. It was really easy to get my hip all the way to the ground. It absolutely held that turn and then shot me out of it. Sometimes it kind of surprised me even. It also, with that width, allowed me to get away with making really harsh turns even in the softer snow. So there's a lot to like about the ski. If you're looking for a ski that you could absolutely grab out the door and you're gonna have fun in it no matter what, I think this ski is like the perfect definition of a daily driver. Just something that's smooth and comfortable and gonna feel good no matter where you take it. It's definitely in that more traditional camp of ski, kind of like a Volcal M6 Mantra, kind of like a K2 Mindbender. Overall, there's a ton to like about the ski when it comes to the evenness of the flex, when it comes to the pop out of the turn, when it comes to the pop on jumps in little back areas, when it comes to the variety of terrain that it can take on. There are so many things to like about the ski. I think that this is just a really safe bet. If you have somebody who wants to just try a ski and you're not sure and you have the ability to try these, absolutely go for it. And not in that kind of Nordica Enforcer way where it doesn't take any risks. This ski has a lot of characteristics, like it's even flex without being too heavy and bulky. There's a lot to love with the Rustler 10. Now let's talk about the bad. This ski doesn't have a lot wrong with it, to be honest. It is over the 9 scale, so a lot of the things I'm gonna point out are just kind of nitpicks, little things that separate it from the top tier skis. So I just want to clarify that now. People who are going to see the negatives, I noticed on my Mirror's Core video, everybody's like, oh, well, what did you expect on that negative? It's like, no, when you have a really good ski, you have to kind of differentiate it and show the minor weaknesses that help people who are looking to buy skis. So from here on out, all the negatives on this ski are very, very minute, but I want to point them out to help differentiate it from the other skis. This ski is kind of suffering from its own success a little bit. It kind of has a lot of the attributes and shape of a crud cutter ski. It will kind of allow you to go anywhere on the hill. But today we got some really wet and sticky snow and it did pretty good in it, but it doesn't perform as well as an M6 Mantra or a K2 Mindbender where they have a little bit more weight behind them. Because the ski is so kind of light and almost airy feeling, which feels good when you're carving, but it doesn't tend to have that kind of weight and mass behind it that allows you to plow through really sticky snow. So that is one minor flaw with the ski. The other thing I noticed is it doesn't quite pop as aggressively as an Atomic Maverick or a Headcore 93. It will definitely round off your turn and give you plenty of energy out of it, but it doesn't quite kind of round off the turn as quickly and sharply as a Headcore 93. And that makes sense because the turning radius isn't as aggressive because it's wider, right? It's 100 or 200 foot. But just so you're kind of differentiating from those other skis, it doesn't have quite as much pop and pizzazz as those skis. Now, it has plenty of pop, more than your average ski that you'd see out on the market, but it just, so you're kind of aware on where it sits, it's a little bit below the Headcore 93 and a touch more behind the Atomic Maverick 88 Ti. But again, those are narrower skis. For its width, it performs very well. The other thing I noticed is when you got it into rougher terrain, there's definitely a little bit of chatter, and some of that has to do with the lightness. Now, you could say that that's a good thing because, you know, you're having lighter skis and when you want to take it off trail, it does well. But I would say that when you're hitting snow that's kind of thawed and refroze, it can struggle a little bit in that way. The other thing I noticed from the demo skis specifically is there is a ton of delamination already happening on a 2024 ski. It's hard to say if that's normal, but just something I wanted to point out. I have seen it on other skis listed on Facebook Marketplace as an issue, but specifically with this Rustler 10, there seems to be some delamination. Similar to the Headcore 93, it could be because you have that really light colored base and the dark front side with that heavy contrast you're noticing anymore, but just something I wanted to point out if you're looking at buying these skis. You may want to be a little bit more careful with delamination issues. Now let's talk price and value. These skis retail new at $799.95. Or $800 pretty much. I do see these a lot on sale. I never tend to buy skis new, but with Blizzard it might be a little bit more difficult because they tend to change their skis frequently. So $800 is pretty normal for new skis. It's a couple $100 less than Black Crows, but it just depends on what you're looking for. I do typically see them on skiessentials.com in the off season for pretty competitive pricing. For whatever reason, Ski Essentials in the Blizzard category tends to have the best deals, especially when you consider you can get the bindings and get them mounted, which saves you a bit of money in the process as well. So if you're interested in these skis, there are better deals in the off season, but for right now, they're about $800. I'd say that their value-wise is pretty medium. It's, you know, it's gonna get like a very average score. These aren't super expensive, but they're not cheap either. For a ski this wide, that's a pretty good value. They're somewhere in the middle range. As far as what the ski's made out of, it's what they call their True Blend Freeride core. It combines beech, poplar, and paulownia wood. They also have a light amount of Titanal that kind of runs along the outside here. Very similar with what you'd see in like a K2 Mindbender, but a little bit different as it kind of runs along farther up. That blend makes a lot of sense. I would guess that that's how they're managing to keep this ski so light. In the 180 length, this ski comes in at 1,995 grams. Pretty similar to the Mirror's core, but a whole 8 centimeters longer. So pretty impressive that they were able to keep this weight down for how stable this turn is and how well it loads. This is a very impressive ski. If you're somebody who likes kind of lighter skis, but doesn't want to sacrifice energy in and out of your turn, this might be a really great option for you. Which leads me to the next question. Who is this ski for? Who is the Rustler 10 for? It's hard to say. You know, I haven't skied on the Rustler 9, so it's hard to know how to recommend between those two. But as far as the 100 goes, I think I said earlier, this is a ski that really is like, you can grab it out the door, be happy with whatever the conditions are, and you don't really have to check the weather report, and you're bound to find something on the hill that this ski will like. Whether it's groomers, whether it's off trail, this ski is successful in most situations. There's a couple of scenarios where like when the snow is really fighting back with you based on how like rigid it is or how choppy it is, you might struggle more than like a dedicated crud cutter, but that would be the case for any kind of ski like this. But just so you know where it kind of sits on that rating. I'm not counting it against it, I just want you to know what it's for. I would say if you're somebody who's a little bit lighter but really likes to load a lot of energy into your turns, I bet you would really enjoy this ski. It has a lot of power, it has a lot of give, and it really can reward somebody who loves to carve. I think also if you're somebody who likes to kind of go fast, I didn't run into any chatter with the top speed. I took these on the Super G Hill and they performed just fine. So I think if you're somebody who likes to go fast, load up a turn, and have a reliable ski, and get your energy back out of the turn, you're gonna really love the Rustler 10. So that's who I think this is for. I think because of its width, it does serve a lot of functions. I would say that kind of the Achilles heel of that is that it doesn't really specialize as much as like a Core 93 or Maverick 88, but it's covering a lot more variety than those skis are. So just so you're aware. Which finally brings me to the rating. I am going to give these a 9.1 out of 10. And that's because I think these skis do a tremendous job. They carve really well, they load up, they really like fire you out of the turn. They're very diverse skis. The reason when you're getting like that high in score, you have to start getting a little bit more granular as what differentiates this from like some of the other top performers. It really is not very surfy in the powder, right? But you know, again, that's something to do with this width and trying to perform so many functions. And it doesn't have as much fun turn shape as a Core 93 or Maverick 88 or Maverick 95, but this ski gets very close. And I would say that the biggest strength for this is just it performs so well while being so light. It's really an amazing ski. And if you're somebody who likes power, who doesn't like really big, heavy, bulky skis, you're gonna love this Rustler 10. It's top 3 of any all-mountain ski I've taken out. I had a blast on these skis. These were a joy. No ski can be perfect, so you know, that's why I'm telling you the truth. This ski is tremendous. There's very little wrong with it, but I just want you to know that it's not perfect. No ski is, and these are the small drawbacks of having a ski this diverse. Awesome ski. Really like the Rustler 10. Very happy to finally get on this ski. And thank you everyone for making the recommendation. Blizzard, now if you guys are watching this, consider sending me some more skis. The local shops didn't have a Rustler 9. They didn't have some of the Bonafide series that I want to test. They didn't have the new series that you guys are bringing out next year. Blizzard, I would love to test your skis. I know that I wasn't a huge fan of the Nordica Enforcer, but I think also that might change with your redesign. So, you know, I'm gonna tell you guys when stuff is good or when it's bad, but to Blizzard, Technica, Nordica, if you guys are willing to let me test skis, I would love to. I love these skis and I think I love the Rustler 9 even more. Anyway, just if anyone from Blizzard is watching, I know sometimes companies will watch these videos, consider reaching out. I'd love to work with you guys. You can't pay me for a good review, but you know, based on this, I don't see any reason why I wouldn't like more of your skis. So anyway, that's the end of the video. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps my channel out a lot. But more than anything, just thank you for taking the time to watch. I really appreciate it. You know, I know I'm kind of a smaller YouTube channel. I've got my skis out here in the backyard, but you know, I want to give you guys the truth and what I'm feeling in the ski and what I'm finding out there. So You guys make this possible. Thank you so much. And yeah, just more than anything, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.
Good opportunity to do some slopey drills.